and welcome back to WEC Icons, a series where we talk you through some of the most beautiful race cars on the planet. And today, we are joined by Corvette. The brand is obviously synonymous with American supercars. You can't go down the street here without seeing one of these beauties, and you certainly can't miss it. But interesting fact, they only joined the WEC full-time back in 2022. But boy, have they made up for lost time. Plenty of successes in the championship. So it's about time we lift the lid and learn more about this beautiful car. Ethan, welcome to WEC Icons. Thank you so much for joining us. And first things first, would you mind introducing yourself for me, please, and telling me what you do for a living?
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me. My name is Ethan Gaynor. I'm the Customer Racing Program Manager. I work for Pratt & Miller, who's the constructor of the Corvette we have here.
Right. Well, you've got to tell me, what Corvette do we have here? Introduce her to me.
Sure. So right here we have the Chevrolet Corvette Z06 GT3R, and specifically in LMGT3 spec you have here. Slight variation from the base FIA homologation.
Okay, and we're going to be talking to your colleague Sal in a bit in more detail about the engine, but can you just tell me what engine is in this thing?
Yeah, so this has the same engine that's in the Z06 street car. It's a 5.5 liter flat plane crank V8. Sal will get into all the details, but it's similar to the street car.
We get to have the car in front of us. Talk me through, potentially firstly, the aero philosophy on it. There's lots of different vents and flaps, and I want to know what they do.
Sure. Yeah, so it is, the GT3 rules do allow for some aero freedom compared to the GTE or GTLM car. It's a bit more open, so a lot of work was done on the underbody, as you can imagine, which unfortunately we can't see as it sits today. But between the dive planes, the end fences, the wheel arch exits that extract a lot of the high pressure air from the wheel well, that accentuates the underwing performance, and then ultimately kind of feeds the rear and the side exit or side inlet to the engine. So that's a bit of the philosophy as to what creates the shapes you see. The hood exit is also a big piece in the aerodynamic platform of the car as well.
I mean, literally, it's huge.
It's huge. Yeah, you could probably get lost in it. But the exit air comes in, that is hot, and the primary reason for that is to keep that away from the side engine inlet, which is where we have to have the engine air intake per the rules, as that's how the street car is laid out. So that helps clean that up a bit, and is ultimately a net benefit to the aero design.
So what kind of suspension does this car have to be able to handle all of that downforce then?
Yep, so it's a double wishbone front and rear, common with most other sports cars. Penske dampers all the way around, so multi-way adjustable, which is again pretty common for the race car scene. Most of that is bespoke to the race car, just due to loads and geometries and things.
Okay. It's a pretty angular car. It's very aggressive looking, but what is it that you think makes this look like a Corvette?
Well, I think the C8 generation, obviously there's a big departure from previous front engine cars. So I think the nose is pretty iconic for the Corvette. It's always been a bit pointed. Obviously the cross flags on the front, and then the general side silhouette, I think it still is a Corvette and maybe a redefined vision.
Well, actually, you touched on this before, but can you tell me specifically what road car this is based on, and then point out some of the similarities and differences between the two?
Sure, yeah. So this is based on the Corvette Z06, which is the track-focused version of the production Corvette. The overall, the greenhouse, we call it, kind of roof structure, the deck lid structure is very common. Obviously, carbon bodywork for the race car, and a couple other adds for fuel fills and wing exits and things like that. But in general, we start with the road car CAD, the 3D model of the car, and kind of build from there and recreate most of the shape and the general feel for it, obviously with adding some features and some aggression maybe that you need for some of the race car functionality.
And actually, I realized I never asked you, tell me about the brakes in this car as well.
Yeah, so the brakes are, particularly in WEC, they're running inch thick or 30 millimeter pads, which will last you a 24-hour race in most cases, so up to the task.
Oh, definitely. And actually, I think that's also a good segue into how this car is built, particularly with your bronze and your gentleman driver in mind, to make sure it's accessible to both the highest level of racing driver and what we call our amateurs, and making sure that, for example, even the amateurs are able to handle these brakes after they get hot and more challenging, right?
Yeah, it's a great point, and that was really a key driving factor in the design of the GT3 coming out of GTE and GTLM, which is obviously professional drivers only. So widening the performance envelope was a key focus, whether that was aero sensitivity or reducing the sensitivities, keeping the car stable through the corner phases and through the stints, where a professional driver might be able to have a bit more capacity in terms of what knobs to turn and what to know, what to do in every situation. We wanted to simplify the car, both in terms of the design of it, but also the operation of it. So the controls, how many buttons you need to press, what tires it's on. We obviously run multiple tires in multiple championships. So that was the general philosophy approaching the car, making it easier to work on, things like that.
Oh, perfect. Well, I also now want to bring Sal in to talk in a little bit about the heart of this car. So let's do that. Perfect. Sav, thank you so much for joining us on WEC Icons. I wonder if first things first, you can introduce yourself for me, please.
Yeah, my name is Sav Leone. I work for General Motors as the Corvette Racing Powertrain Technical Lead.
And when I heard your job title, I knew that we had to get you on to talk about the engine of this car. Yeah. Can you give me the rundown? What do we need to know?
Well, first, the engine's back here.
Good point, well made.
So, yeah, the engine's in the back. Previous generations, the engine was in the front, and we've maximized the performance of that platform. So in order to take it to the next level, went mid-engine.
And what engine is it?
The engine is a 5.5 liter LT6 flat plane V8, naturally aspirated.
Now, regulation does dictate power on this thing, but without it, what potential would this car have?
Just under 700 horsepower at 670 horsepower is what it's rated from the factory.
And what are some things people might not know about the engine on this car that you think are interesting or we should tell?
Well, first, the engine is nearly 80% of the production in the race car. The only thing that we modified from the production engine is a bespoke sump, oil sump, and front cover, and that was in order to lower the engine and move it slightly forward to maximize the center of gravity of the vehicle.
Well, how about you tell me a little bit about the roadmap of the engine as well and the story behind it?
Yeah, so we get the engines directly from Bowling Green, which is the assembly plant manufacturing. That comes to Pontiac, Michigan, where my engine build team disassembles all the engines. We go through, verify, clean everything. We marry the sump and the block, the production block, to new bearing clearances, and we fully assemble them, run them on dyno, prove them out, make sure that they're all commissioned properly before we deliver them over to Pratt & Miller for installation.
Amazing. Sav, thank you so much for joining us. I think we're going to grab Ethan to talk about the steering wheel off the car.
Okay, thank you.
So from the heart of the car now to the interior, we've got to talk through this steering wheel, because actually this is particularly beautiful, but can you tell me about some of the design elements of it?
Yeah, sure. So as you said, there's a lot on the steering wheel. Yeah, multiple switches and buttons on front, multiple paddles and switches on the back. So walking through the front here, radio, obviously, to communicate with the team and the engineers. The drive button, that's a bit of a unique feature to some cars, but this car has an auto clutch mode where it'll actually engage the clutch automatically, so there's no driver engagement in most situations. The start button will start the engine if some conditions have been met on the electronics. Full course yellow, relatively straightforward there, an 80 kph limit. You have right and left indicators or blinkers. Not used too often. And OK, just an acknowledgement button. Marker if the driver wants to indicate anything in the data, you can press that and the engineers can go back to review very quickly. Pace, again, just for select kind of low speed modes on track. This engages a couple functions. Stop will stop the engine if you meet a couple criterias under 5 kph. It'll auto stop the engine. Pit speed limiter, and then the get out of my way flash button on this side as well.
Every driver's favorite button.
Yeah. So the switches here, we have ABS, just turns you different modes for different calibrations, track conditions, things like that. Multi opens a couple different menu options that the drivers can then tune or change settings as needed. TC, this is your base kind of TC stage setting. Yaw is kind of an advanced TC setting as well, kind of a step above the base TC. And then map, again, kind of works with the multi to open up more options that the driver can adjust or change parameters.
Okay.
On the back, we have your standard up-down gear change. We have right-left paddles, so these just both do clutch engagement, and then we have these toggles that actually let you scroll through the dash display up and down. So these just both do the same thing, adjust, again, different parameters, PPU and things like that in these types of series. So a lot going on in the steering wheel, but meant to be all in finger's reach.
And my final question, it's my favorite question. What is your favorite part of this car?
Yeah, it's a tough one. As an engineer myself, I think you can appreciate different pieces of it in every way. I think for me, the best piece of it is everything coming together. It's the legacy of Corvette racing, being able to share that and being able to share our approach and our passion for building these cars, racing these cars, hopefully winning with these cars. That is the best part for me.
Ethan, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for watching along. We'll see you next time on WEC Icons.